good morning, and welcome to Taco Tuesday and welcome to PPI, May the 14th. Very rare do we get PPI ahead of CPI, but that's what we got. So we got what we got and we deal with what we got and we look over what we got. And today, PPI is at 8:30 in the morning, an hour before the opening bell, about 3.5 hours from when this recording is being done. Fed's Cook is going to be speaking just before the open at 9:10, and then at 10 o'clock, Jerome Powell is speaking. And again, like I said, historically, over the recent 12 months, call it, what I have noticed from memory is days when Jerome Powell is speaking intraday, there really isn't as much of a catalyst as many people think, especially a downside catalyst, despite the reality of what's going on. So I leave you with that, and I bring you over quickly to go over where we're at, because we have now gone in a week and yesterday with zero range. Two things to point out about this: zero range. 1, 2, 3, 4, call it 5, 6, 7. If you want to call it 8, you could call it 8. We've closed red twice, -3 and -1.26, 0.03. 3 green weeks in a row, as I've highlighted as a asterisk warning. 4 isn't impossible, it's not illegal, but it's just very rare. And we have PPI and CPI coming out today. Now, highlighted here in blue in 228.61 is the monthly range that we currently have for the month of May, 52.39.66, falling right inside of that full new moon window. And the lows coming on Tuesday, May the 2nd. I'm wrong. That was a Thursday. My apologies. 50.11.05. And again, another highlight is where we have closed here above 52.20 is above plus 10% year to date. So these are just numbers for people that follow numbers to be very well aware of, because all of your charts, like we've shared, are lined up, especially the bigger, powerful ones, the 4-hour charts. They're lined up for a very, very piss poor PPI, CPI reaction to come out, but we don't have that report until that report comes out. So we deal with what we've got, and that's what we've got right now. That's what it is set for. We will get the report at 8:30. Over here on to the SPX spreads, again with the new moon falling on May 7th, the new moon window being plus or minus 3 sessions from that, 52.39.66 fits in perfectly. 51.01.02 and 50.11.123 also fits in perfectly. So as we head into the full moon, which is coming up here on May the 23rd, May the 23rd being a, come on up, Windows, a Thursday, and I will actually be out of town 23rd and 24th. On the 22nd is NVIDIA's earnings report. So today will help quite a bit, but we still have that window going out until May 22, 23 for when the full moon hits, and with NVIDIA's earnings report. So here, a highlighted here in 10, which is not a big number on the SPX. We are now 10 trading sessions without a -1% visit. -1% being that we closed only down a point, is only 1 point lower from yesterday's 51.70. Today it would be 51.69.21. Yesterday, again, going out there expecting that red close on the Monday, 52.30, 52.25s. It's quite boring. It's a little bit of a nail biter for some people, but $3 credit, $2 risk. Who wouldn't take 150% to start the week off? So I bring it up to Tuesdays. Oh, hang on a second. Hang on. I've got tick strike on. I got to turn it off so it's not making too much noise, and come bound back on to where we were. Over here on the SPX, being a Tuesday, Tuesdays used to be cool. Tuesdays used to be awesome. But that was long, long time ago. Tuesdays started to get cool again back in February. minus 1%, minus 1%, then another minus 1%. Then we had our minus 1% on April 2nd. And it's just gotten really, really boring since then. It's not as excellent as it used to be going back maybe a year ago when Taco Tuesdays, you were fucking guaranteed you were getting a 3, 5, 800% trade on a 0 DTE puts. Well, that's where we're at today. And May 7th being the last, May 7th being the last Tuesday, it was fucking dead flat, man. We closed up 50 cents, up 7 points. We traded in a absolute shit 21-point range. So Tuesdays should change today, with today being PPI. CPI, I've shared for you over there in the room, being tomorrow, CPI. The last couple of CPIs have been pretty damn good, having the misses, even with these misses that we were having earlier in the year in December and over here in November, didn't matter because the charts were looking for a bounce. Here we are right now with CPI coming out on Wednesday and the charts looking for a dip. We will see in a day whether or not CPI develops and whether or not even PPI develops for later on today. But over onto the minus 1% channel. This is now 10 days over on the QQQ. Today is day number 10. 10 days today without a minus 1% move on the QQQ. This is actually significant. This is the longest streak, 10, that we have had. Today is the 10th day. It hasn't already been 10 days. Today is the 10th. You can see on your spreadsheet. And then April 2nd was the 11th, and that was when we got our beginning initial dip as we started into that dip in April. 10 days. We have had 8. We have had 9. But we've only had 10 once. And I haven't looked back to 2023 because I don't really think that 2023 is applicable for where we're at right now. But that is what we're sitting with at the moment. And again, with QQQ and everything being inside the QQQ, something to very much pay attention to, with 438.65 being minus 1%. And we will look over on the charts in a second here to show you why that matters. IWM's volatile, period, the end. You get plus minus 1% days constantly over there. Yesterday was a nothing burger, not even a 2-point range, didn't do anything. I think SPX Scalper was the only one who took 206 puts, 50 cents, got out at $1. A nothing burger. Really, it was a nothing burger kind of day yesterday, and it all sets up, which is why I sent out the email to you yesterday that before the close on Monday, consider May 14th, May 15th, PPI, CPI trade to consider. And that's why I laid you out here. It's obviously very risk. We've got, laying it all out for you, 3 green weeks, not illegal, but it's rare. And the big highlight being Wednesday. And the reason for this as well was because of where our VIX is. And we'll get on to the charts real quick. But first, we're going to start with Roaring Kitty. Roaring Kitty, as many of you are probably very familiar with now from one of the major stars of the movie Dumb Money. This is a guy who testified to Congress when everything went to absolute shit. A week ago, GameStop was properly trading down in the 15s. Here we are today, closing at $30 yesterday, up here in the 40s, and even, what's his name? Andrew Tate has gotten into this, but I'll show you what this is all about. It's all about this right here. This move that took place right here. Now, I haven't updated my charts because they did a stock split. They did a 4-for-1 stock split. I never updated my chart, but this was what it was all about. This major going into 2021 short squeeze, absolutely destroy Citadel, destroy the brokerage firms, break Wall Street, and it's back. It's back again. And not only is that back, but its little sister is back. Little sister being AMC. AMC, an absolute dog piece of shit. But here you go. AMC down here in the 3s, down here trending lower below the 3s. And now because Roaring Kitty is back on Twitter, having not posted a single message, just one image and one video. AMC closed at 5, trading up at 7. So the degenerates are all over there. They're out of zero DTE land. They are out of zero DTE SPY. They are back over to where they want to be, and that's where that is. SPY over here. So we've talked everything about the downside. We've talked it backwards, forwards, left, right, and center. So let's start talking about the upside. PPI, CPI, we get some upside. We can go higher and still be bearish. You need to be fully aware of that. And should we go higher, it only makes the correction that comes afterwards more aggressive and more accelerated. That's all that it is. There's no secret about it. So over here on the SPY, obviously, for very obvious reasons, 515, as you can see here going back to last week, is your break level. Unless you get below 515, you have to have respect for 525. And there are also some other pivots that are up higher, which I will move on to the SPX with. Starting here with the SPX, and I will remove the 50-day moving average to make the chart a little bit more readable. As you see, you coming down here and tagging this yellow trend line right there, tagging right down onto it, just onto it, bouncing right off. I'll show you where that comes from. Right up here, coming off the highs. This has to go out a little bit further. Apologize for not having this ready for you. I understand you guys have much better things to be doing right now. Coming off of our highs, which is actually a day. Oh, Jesus fucking, why you so coming off our highs, which is prior to this. I'm not going to go fix it. And then our bounce high over here on April the 4th. That's the trend line that we have just been hitting now. That's the trend line that we're riding on. And as you see here with what I have drawn out already, absolutely, there is a big major magnet up here at 52.54. It's a big magnet. There is also a very big magnet up here at 52.86. Should this continue to move up and reach up to the 161.8 extension? Absolutely, it's there. Bringing you on to what we work off and going on to the bigger, broader, wider picture where I am looking for my up. Where is my up? Absolutely. We could be pushing up into the 5300s. I believe I have it on my other chart, but let me make sure. Absolutely, yes. 53.59, 53.50. Very, very possible. Not ruling it out. Don't have the CPI report. Don't have the CPI report. The PPI CPI. Very possible. We'll see when we see what we see. I'll leave it at that and move over here onto the QQQ. QQQ, again, very, very perfect ABC. Perfect. Can we go higher? Absolutely, yes, we can go higher. We can go up into the 448.73. We could go up into 454. And to bring on the 454, that was a number that we had very long ago, talking about very, very long ago, possibly 454.52. Possibly, yes, we could go up into that level. We don't know until we get the PPI and the CPI report. And then we still have to wait another week for NVIDIA to report next week. So that's where we're at with all of that. I'll leave you here with the futures. Futures are once again looking very, very shitty, having gone absolutely nowhere all night. We are a little bit overbought, so that is something that should be very considerate. I don't have the perfect drawings on here for what I'm looking to show, but I am switching over onto the 4 hours just to be able to show these large sell divergences that are already in place and just looking to be taken care of. Because we have had, once again, one of the things that you will notice, because we have had such a tiny, tiny range, even though you hear these words overbought, because the range is so small, it's very, very quick, very easy to become oversold. So thus is why I talk about the before the close trade yesterday, which if any of you got into, I do hope you took the May 15th. The ones that are the 32 trades that are alive going out into June, July, September, I have absolutely zero concern for them because they are out to June, July, and September. So this is where we're at. This is what we're playing with. And PPI and CPI are coming out tomorrow. CPI, PPI today, Powell at 10 o'clock today, Taco Tuesday. 'Cause it's Taco Tuesday.